Hockey, and we are underway with the game between Glenbrook South and Loyola Gold. The New Trier Trevians have already won the division, and will be playing in the Scholastic Cup bracket as the defending champions in that, and the Loyola Ramblers have finished second here. Here's a quick shot by Stephen Lee. Grabs it, held on by Nick Hines in goal tonight for the Loyola Ramblers Gold. We will be editing. Once again tonight, we have a triple header as first the hockey game and then a basketball doubleheader with the New Trier Trevians. Last week we said it would be New Trier versus Glenbrook South. I misspoke and videotaped, as it were. It is, in fact, the Loyola Ramblers in Glenbrook South. Little loosey-goosey between the blue lines. Nick Moretti puts it in the zone for Glenbrook South, back behind the goal. Now put over here to the near side, flipped around to the corner. Taken there by Chris Michael. And the Ramblers clear it out to center ice. Tom Lenz tried to flip it out of the zone and couldn't do it. And now they battle along in the corner. A little push on the end. Glenbrook South has had their problems, mostly because of players that, for one reason or another, are not playing tonight. Now, for instance, Charlie Vanderplug dressed, warmed up with the team, and now has gone to the locker room. And they have a couple of players with various forms of suspension, either for personal problems or not dressed, let's say it that way, because of personal problems and grades and various other things. Although the grades, it's because of the parents saying that they cannot skate, not the team. This team is not does not have any association with their school, so they don't follow the school policy and IHSA policy, as does New Trier and Loyola. To the side now on the rebound. It was a man in the crease, and that wouldn't be a goal in any form. And the face-off coming up. Plus, on top of that, it looked like it was kicked in. But now the face-off coming up outside the zone. The drop and the draw. Cleared into the south end. Bump to the near side. And now loosey-goosey. Tried to strong arm it ahead. Looked like a hand pass, but in fact it made it into the zone. A lot of bumping and shoving and going around. Wesley tried to get it out and did, out to center ice. Taken there, and Lamarde put it into the zone to the far side and cleared to center ice. Taken by Lamarde. He put it to the far side. Now flipped into the zone by the Ramblers, near side, Merkel. Merkel brings it ahead. Merkel cranks it off the leg, back behind the goal, and went right through over to that far side. Not controlled by the Titan goaltender. On the near side, flipped ahead, taken by the Ramblers, just making a line change. Back pass by Roth, near side of Matt O'Connor, and he couldn't come up with it, neither could Chula. Now flipped back down into the zone. Put over to that far side, and now the Ramblers start the breakout. Matt O'Connor couldn't come up with the puck, put on the near side boards, and now Matt O'Connor controls. O'Connor, pretty good speed, has a tendency to hold the puck a bit too long. O'Connor. Now back come the Titans. Luke Reel, and he lost the puck as he crossed the blue line. Back comes O'Connor. O'Connor held a little bit. Nothing to call a penalty on, apparently. Brett Huffness decided not to. On the near side boards. Now O'Connor pops it free. Chula shot it wide. Put to that far side. O'Connor. Now deep into the corner. I think I say something when I say Matt O'Connor has a respectable 20 goals, but only 7 assists on the season. Long. Off the board, picked up by Dudek. Dudek put it to the far side. Chula. Back behind the goal. Dudek to the far side. And now the Ramblers on that breakout. Now Schragle. And he had his pocket pick. Cleared back into the zone. Trying to strong arm around Johnny Brown. Brown, and a little extra throw in there by Michael. Chris Michael now picked up by the Titans, and finally into the zone by the Ramblers again. After David Lee got bumped pretty hard. Cleared out to center ice and all the way down. Wrapped around to the near side. They washed off the icing. And now the Ramblers through the legs. Oldenburg put it to that far side. David Lee. Oops, offside. Now the face-off is on the near side. Off the boards, out ahead Merkel. And as Merkel brings it into the zone again, it's offside. And we'll have another face-off. There's the draw. Flipped into the zone, wrapped around. Yeah. Luke Reel. Now picked up, and everybody chasing the puck, and it ended up no one got the shot away by the Ramblers. Vince Rizzo posts up in the slot, back behind the goal. Now Rizzo has it, takes the shot, ran into the sticky wickets out front. Out to the point, there's the shot by Brad Walsh, and that ran into traffic. Here come the Ramblers the other way. Flipped into the zone by Walter Jacobson. No relation. Jeff Lorenz. Spell it differently. On the near side boards, they battle along there, pushing and shoving at it. Now pops free. Chula puts it in deep. Matt O'Connor tried to dipsy-doodle around Walsh, and he couldn't get there. On the near side boards, now flipped out to center ice. Look at all the players. Every one of them was basically along that near side boards chasing the puck. Back behind the goal line. Now on the near side, now O'Connor. And trying to do it himself, even though the whole team was there in front of him. Now here's O'Connor again, drop passing it. Cleared. And rolls all the way down. And that's icing. There you go, time-wise. And we are set for the face-off. Picked up and wrapped around by Tad Tomita. Tomita had it again, got it out to the point. The big blaster went wide, near side. And they pop it along. Now flip, not out. Lenz has it, drags it along the blue line. Now Lenz on that far side, flips it into the zone. Now right back out. Peyton Chain, and he got bumped as we lose a puck. Again, we apologize. We are editing. If you're used to watching every moment of every game here, we are editing to fit ourselves into the time frame of our broadcast, which is actually, we have 4 hours and 3 broadcasts, and they generally run about an hour and a half. So in order to get us into that time, we're playing fast and free with eliminating some of the stoppages of play. Back behind the goal line. Brought over here to the near side by Jeff Lorenz. Now up ahead, now flip into the zone deep. Back behind the goal line. Put over to that far side and not out. Now out to center ice. And taken there by Matt Schragle. He overskated it though. Chris Michael back to center ice. Now flipped ahead by Connor Long. And he gets it into the zone. Brad Walsh backhands the puck over to the near side. And Matt Wesley knocks it down at the point. But then cleared. Once more a case of icing. With 4:57 to play here in the period. And the face-off on the near side. It's taken by Chris Michael back behind the goal line. On the far side, Tamita is bothered by Brown. Schragle comes up with the puck briefly. Now the Ramblers, the obviously better stick handlers here today. Luke Reel over here to the near side. Now Brown right up the slot. One thing about Glenbrook South is they are very tenacious this year. There's a quick shot and the save. Put on that far side. One thing you got to say about this team, they may not have a lot of talent, but Glenbrook South certainly has a lot of heart. Lee, now Michael headstrongs it into the zone. Back out to center ice. Taken there by Kevin Oldenburg. He put it to the far side. Now at the blue line, wrapped ahead. Now over down that far side. The give and go to Luke Reel. And Reel couldn't take the shot. He had his pocket pick. Now back behind the goal line. Here's the big blaster and the save. And cleared. Is that going to be icing again? It is icing. Now the face-off. Back behind the goal. On the near side. Out to the point, a little backhander and the save. Again on the near side. Flipped out to center ice. Down went the man. The puck squirts to the goal, grabbed and held on. And yet another face-off coming up. The draw sits at the dot. Now on that near side. Jeff Lorenz feeds it up ahead. Prisbillo clears it out to center ice. Taken by Connor Long. Connor Long flips it right back into the Titan zone. Right back out over on that far side. Into the zone comes Jason Merlo. His shot just a little wide. Again out to the point. Lorenz with the big blaster, and that went wide. And now Matt Merkel had his pocket pick. Merkel gets it at the red line, puts it back to Kevin Oldenburg. Oldenburg, strong arms into the zone. Little bump on the boards. Cleared. All the way down. That won't be icing. Somebody touched it first. Moretti puts it to that far side. Out ahead, out to the point, Adam Pinto back behind the goal. And now the push and the shove taken by the Ramblers. End-to-end action here. Miller found Shula. And cleared back out of the zone. So, somebody, or maybe it was because the Ramblers were the ones that actually cleared it back. You don't punish the Titans by calling it icing. Adam Pinto. Now over on that far side. Near side. Through the slot over to the far side. Off O'Connor on the bad pass. Back into the zone, Joey Chula. On the near side, off the boards. And flipped into the zone again. Now taken by Lorenz, and he clears it to center ice. Now Luke Reel into the zone. Reel, less than a minute to play here in the period. Out and cleared. Flipped by Lorenz into the zone, near side. Lorenz. Jeff Lorenz spreads it out, looks to center, nowhere to go with it. Put to the far side. Lorenz with the heavy bump. Lorenz with Luke Reel. Now Reel cleared it back out. Taken by Skoglund into the zone. Andy Skoglund takes the shot, the save, pops free. And back come the Titans of Glenbrook South, offside. With just a couple of ticks of the clock left to the period. The drop, and that'll do it. At the end of the first period of play. No score here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, and we'll be back with more. Metro Chicago Sports Network, welcome back to tonight's hockey action. On the near side boards. Now Johnny Brown flips it into the zone, back behind the goal line. Take him there in a mad chase. Finally pulled out of there by the Ramblers. Schragle with the shot, the save. Out and cleared. Back comes Moretti. Nick Moretti with the shot, the save. Now on the near side boards, cleared. And down into the zone, there's the big blaster in the save. Chris Michael got it away. And held on for the face-off. John Schnarr in goal tonight for the Glenbrook South Titans. And they face off on the far side. Inside the Titan end. The draw controlled by the Titans. Lorenz. Cleared ahead, and now Reel put it in the zone. Roth off the boards. Chula backhands it out to center ice. Walsh puts it back in, delay offside. Now Charlie Miller crosses the red line, puts it into the Titans end for the Ramblers. Back behind the goal. Back out to the point. Off the boards to the far side. Now I wanted to talk about some of the repercussions of that fight last week on our network. There were actually 8 suspensions. 3 for the Trevians and 5 for the Titans off that altercation. And by the time you see this, the board will have met and possibly added additional, although I have never known them to do so. In the corner, Real. Chula. Put to the far side. Cleared out to center ice. Now back in to lay offside. Roth takes his time, fed it over to that far side. The Ramblers in a line change. Merlot into the zone. Brian Merlot cranks and the save. And held on by Hines. What's so sad about a fight like that, quite frankly, is that in this particular case, it has a lot, I think, to do with the coaches, and particularly the coach of Glenbrook North. I think a lot of coaches, and it's not only, oh, what a sensational save. Merlot with the shot and the save. In hockey, because we are not affiliated with the schools directly, the schools have no say on who they hire as coaches, and particularly the Glenbrook North case, but it's across the board. I think these coaches don't realize that they are more than hockey coaches. And if they can't control their emotions on the bench, they can't control young men. You know, this is an impressionable time. And particularly today when these players are under so much pressure. There's the shot and the save, this time by Frank Harrison with the save. And the glide through the slot. That if a coach cannot control what they say and how they say it, and control themselves, they cannot control high school kids. And in fact, they have to realize that even though they're not with the school, they are in fact still teachers. And that is that they teach more than simply how to play the game. They must learn how to discipline both themselves and the players. And if they can't do that, they shouldn't be there. And there are a couple of coaches in the league, mostly on those teams that do not have association with their school, where it's very obvious that there is more going on here and it needs to be addressed and addressed by the organizations. On the near side, Peyton Chain gets it into the zone. And the whistle for an offside. Ramblers caught with their feet in the cookie jar. And the face-off coming up. The number one team last year, the team that won the Blackhawk Cup, the first Blackhawk Cup, will not be allowed to repeat. The clusters have come out, and the Lake Forest Academy, because of a number of violations to high school hockey policy, and they were notified of that, were still given permission to play over the last couple of years, will not be allowed to play this year because they did not address those problems and made no attempt to make changes. That is apparently the reason. I am not privileged to the exact information of what went out, but I know a couple of things that the high school committee, which is the governing body of Illinois high school hockey, were originally involved in. And we got a penalty coming up back behind the play for roughing on Connor Long. Roughing against Connor Long. Face-off coming up. Now the draw back to the Titans. Near side. Now Matt O'Connor fed it ahead, Joey Chula. Yeah, that's interesting. Little push and shove on the end of that. Here come the Titans back up. They have the man advantage. Near side, this is Lorenz. Lorenz into the zone. Into the slot. Nobody there. Cleared. Matt O'Connor. Next week, playoff action. Hockey. And we don't know who we will have, air or where. The schedule has not come out for the playoffs. And basketball action. 2 big games. The Trevians take on the Evanston Wildcats. And Peoria Manual. Shot a goal! Short-handed. Matt O'Connor puts it home. And the Ramblers lead it 1-0. 1-0 on the goal by Matt O'Connor. And the Titans with the shot, the save, they continue. That was a shorthanded goal, so they continue with the power play. Into the slot. And flipped out of the zone all the way down. And they battle there. Put to that far side. There's the big blaster, the save. The rebound, loose in the slot. Finally taken by Paul Lee. His shot, grabbed and held on. And now a push and shove Adam Pinto and Kevin Oldenburg. And Pinto with another one. Oldenburg adds on. An extra push for the extra push in there by Pinto. Take it easy, Adam. Calm yourself, my child. Calm yourself. As he'll go sit in the box. And Kevin Oldenburg will join him. Something about the air in this rink, I guess, that creates altercations. Coincidental, minors for roughing. Coincidental minors for roughing. The penalty to Connor Long is over, so we will cope aesthetically with 5-on-5. Back behind the goal, put over here to the near side, back over to the far side. Popped along a little bit, now picked up by Steve Lee, and now stolen from him, Schragle. Right through. Skoglund didn't have a stick down. Right through the slot again. Nobody posted up there. Now Real got rid of the puck and took a high hit, high enough to call a penalty on Skoglund for elbowing, I believe. And it is. Skoglund a minor for elbowing. And the Ramblers again will play shorthanded. On the far side, now Lee got it into the zone, but did so through his skates and never really controlled it. All the way back, the Ramblers are back to penalty killing, picked up by Kevin Lenz. Near side, now taken on over to that far side, bouncing puck, picked up by Schragle. Schragle rags it into his own attack zone, defensive zone rather. Not a very smart move. Now picked up by Real. Lee tried to come up with it. Ramblers cleared back out to center ice. Last thing you should do is, if you're in penalty killing, bring that puck back into the defensive zone. You're basically doing the work for the attacking team. Lorenz put it over to the far side. Steve Lee, near side, Real. Wesley takes down the man. Schragle cleared ahead. Lorenz waits for the onside. Near side. Now Lee with the shot. Shot it a little wide. Lorenz with the shot. Threw everything. Brought to the near side. Kevin Lenz. And then he got bumped by Miller. Wesley backhands it over to the far side point. Now the shot and the save. Near side. And cleared by the Ramblers. Kevin Lenz puts it to the far side off Steve Lee. Roth into the zone. Off a skate, dribbles towards the goal line, near side, and flipped back down into the zone. Fed ahead. Hines has lost his stick, but the puck down in the Ramblers attack zone. Shot saved. Puck's free on the far side. Flipped out of there. And out come the Titans. On the near side boards, they were painting chain in there now. Back behind the goal line. Put to that far side, and they're pushing it along. Paul Lee. O'Connor. Dudek. Right in front. Shot a goal! Nick Moretti. And then Moretti and Long have a little extra. Push and shove, and we're tied up at 1. Tied at 1. Chula. Roth gave it to the far side, intended for Skoglund. Now Lorenz gets it out of harm's way. Lee brings it back into his zone. Over here on the near side. Now Chula. Far side. Skoglund. Dropped past it. The shot, the save, and held on. And a little glaring and whatever, 3:35 to play here in the period. 1-1 tie in the second. Now the face-off. Cleared out to center ice. Roth. Skoglund. Back behind the goal line. Put over here to the near side. Out to the point. Now put on that far side. Harrison out at the point. The shot to the side of the net. Taken by Skoglund. He cleared it and right through everything back on down into the zone. Kevin Oldenburg now picked up by Skoglund. Andy Skoglund going to try and do it all himself. Here's the shot, the save from the high slot from Skoglund. On the network, stick around. Coming up next will be the game between the Trevians and the Maine East Demons in basketball. That's next. And our third game of the triple header today. Shot a goal by Schragle. Matt Schragle puts it home. The over the shoulder. To the glove side. And the third game of our doubleheader tonight is the Farragut Admirals and the New Trier Trevians. Flipped into the zone, now picked up by the Ramblers, near side. Wesley puts it to the corner. O'Connor looking for the give and go. Real was on O'Connor, and the Titans control. Here's Lee, up ahead, knocked down, taken here on the near side. Now, Prisbillo with the shot, the save, and held on. And now a scrum, a little extra push and shove on the end. Jack Weber initially got that shot away. But the ref decides not to call anything. So we'll have a face-off coming up inside the Ramblers' end. Offside at the face-off. They couldn't line it up. And so they both get chased. Moretti and Litza. Now, on that far side, here's Long. Connor Long. Grabbing hold of each other. Any worse, it would have been a mugging, but Brett Huffness once again decides to call nothing as they both were holding on to each other. Back behind the goal line, Oldenburg collides with Moretti. Jacobson. Merkel off Jacobson's skate out to center ice. Lorenz with it. Jeff Lorenz. Lorenz into the zone. Drop passes it. Out to the point. Pinto with the shot. That's wide. Connor Long. Oh, I take that back. Oldenburg. Cleared to center ice. Lorenz. To the far side at the blue line of the Titans. Back into the zone by Pinto. Over on that far side, Moretti. Bumped by Merkel. Oldenburg in there. Somebody went headfirst into the boards. And I think we've got a penalty for it. We do. Oldenburg and Moretti got a little rambunctious. And once again, coincidental penalties coming up. Oldenburg and Moretti. One for interference and one for roughing. Moretti for interference and Oldenburg for roughing. And a face-off coming up inside the Rambler end. The face-off taken by Dudek. Out to the point, the big blaster, and that went a little wide. Over here to the near side. Back behind the goal, give and go. Didn't get there. Lenz flips it back behind the goal line, taken by the Glenbrook South Titans. Centering attempt, and that's a little wide, taken by Miller, who flips it back into the Titans' end. Lorenz, he got bumped as the horn sounds into the period. We're tied at 1, and we'll be back with more hockey action. Take that back, the Ramblers lead 2-1. We'll be back with more in just a moment. And we have started the third period of tonight's action. Nick Moretti tried to sneak out of that box. Little did he know that I was watching. And made a comment. Offside. I know the rules. And Jim Philbin, the coach of the Titans, knows that I know the rules. He used to play, back in the late 70s, early 80s for Loyola, as a matter of fact. Real tries a strong arm ahead, now picked up by Mitch Dudek. Dudek gives it ahead to Chris Michael, and Michael gets pushed down. A little glove to the face. If he wouldn't have been pushed down, he probably would have fainted from the smell from those things. They are usually pretty rancid, particularly this time of year. On the near side boards. Yeah, I have a rule this year. I want, I've mentioned it a couple of times to the state, and they're sort of laughing at me. I wonder why. There's a quick shot by O'Connor, grabbed and held on. Owing to the aroma of ode to hockey player, I want a rule this year that all penalties are either served in the locker room or their game misconducts. I don't care either one, because I don't want them sitting next to me when I'm running that clock over at the state championship games, the playoff games at Northbrook, because they get a little rancid. Ode to Hockey player is a bit strong. Put over there on that far side. Now cleared ahead. Here come the Trevians up ahead. Miller. Ramblers, sorry. Ooh, did I make a sin there? I apologize. Near side. Here's Walsh into the zone. Long. Connor Long with the puck. Connor Long feeds it ahead. Stolen away. Paul Lee. Ramblers lead it 2-1 over the Glenbrook South Titans. The shot goes a little bit wide. As we said, that's the quick shot by Pinto. As we said, that's kind of the thing about the Titans. They aren't a great team talent-wise, but they are certainly a scrappy team, and that's probably kept them in the Scholastic Cup bracket this year, is that scrappiness. Now the face-off, the shot by Tamita, and that went a little wide. Near side, Skoglund. Skoglund brings it ahead. Skoglund flips it into the zone. Tamita goes back behind the goal. Now puts it to that far side, through the legs on the standing breakout. You know, there's something else about the standing breakout that I am beginning to realize. I don't know if the players do, the shot from and the save. Now the face-off and a loose puck, and taken now by Reel, who strong-armed it to center ice. Dudek brings it back in, near side, Skoglund. And the thing about the standing breakout, a shot and a goal by Peyton Chain, I believe, or was it Skoglund? Skoglund, I think, got it. And it's 3-1. But I think the thing about that standing breakout is that, in fact, it seems harder for the defenseman to find that limited space in which to pass the puck on a standing breakout. That if the player were moving and the defenseman didn't try to set it up from directly behind the net, that there actually is a little bit bigger window right from the face-off. Looked like we were probably going to get some penalties, I thought. Little scrum went on right there, right at center, between the two centers. Now Jacobson, he got bumped. Bevarutos, he puts it to the far side. Out to the point. The long shot grabbed and held on. And the draw back out to the point. The big cranker by Connor Long. That went wide. Put over here on the near side. Now dribbles to the side of the net. Grabbed and held on once more. And another face-off coming up. Little glaring between Wesley and Lorenz. We're in the third period of tonight's hockey action. Face-off coming up. Loose puck on the near side. Now picked up and cleared ahead. Bump on the side. Held in the zone by the Ramblers. Titans clear. Oldenburg has sat twice on coincidental penalties. Flipped into the zone. Walsh back out to center ice. Luke Reel back behind the goal, put over on that far side. Jacobson up ahead now through Michael and back into the Titans' end. Chris Michael has it again. Centered. O'Connor slid through the slot, never controlled the puck. Now shallow angle shot, save. As we said, that's kind of the Matt O'Connor. I think that everyone talks to me about Matt O'Connor as being the best player in the league. But I'll tell you something. I would rather have a player who is unselfish than somebody like Matt O'Connor, who has 21 goals and 7 assists. My response is he may be a good stick handler. A shot and a goal by Schragle on the rebound. But he is selfish, or more directly, perhaps an ego problem. What makes great hockey players is their ability to play as a team, not as an individual. And I'm not knocking Matt O'Connor from the sense that he does have a lot of talent. And I'm not really knocking him. I'm just saying that he's overrated. Over on that far side, now Paul Lee flips it into the zone. Now put over to the far side, out to the point. Broken up. Johnny Brown. Tamita. Cleared back to Oldenburg. What penalties? Saw that one coming. Moretti and Oldenburg will go sit in the box again. 8 minutes and change left to play here in the third period. Ramblers leading at 4-1. Now in the corner. Popped over to the far side. Wesley feeds it ahead and had his pocket picked by Kevin Lentz. Flipped back down into the zone. Heavy check thrown around. Now taken by the Ramblers, and Connor Long will skate it straight ahead. The big shot by Johnny Brown goes over the shoulder. Johnny Brown goes into the corner, being bothered by Tamita. Back the other way comes Rowland. And the push and the shove as everyone goes jumping over everybody. And a little bit of glaring as we separate. Oop, a little extra, Merlot and Miller. Coming out of the bottom of the pile is Luke Reel of the Titans. And another face-off. About 7.5 left to play here in the period. Roth puts it around to the near side. Now into the zone. There's the long shot. The save, grabbed and held on. And again, sliding through. The draw is taken by the Titans eventually. And he was out of the zone offside. Off Roth. Roth was standing just a fraction of an inch too far outside the zone and the offside. Again, owing to our triple header today, we are editing in order to fit everything in on our time. Put on that far side. Now cleared it ahead. Now picked up, put to the corner, through the skates. And everybody having a little trouble. The ice is, I guess, a little slippery. Ice usually is. Chain, and now picked up by Skoglund. Hello. That net's dislodged, and now the whistle, and extra little pushing and shoving. And the face-off controlled by Long. And back in, and we'll have another one. Another face-off coming up. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. Hope you enjoy our broadcast today. The Loyola Ramblers and the Glenbrook South Titans. I think it's kind of important to note that both the Ramblers and Trevians will meet one more time in league play, at least one more time. And same holds true for the Trevians and the Spartans, considering the incident a couple of weeks ago. Connor Long with the shot, ran into traffic, put over on that far side. By the way, we do have a change coming up in the league for next year. The Metro North Hockey League. The Niles North Vikings will not be back in the Metro North next year. Cleared ahead, now over-skated. But the Stevenson Patriots are reportedly going to have 2 varsities next year. I would prefer that we stay with a 12-team, even number setup. And what bothers me is at least one of the reasons we have a penalty coming up here. But at least one of the reasons that they are coincidental minors for high sticking here at the end of this play. But one of the reasons that they are saying that they want that, want the Vikings out is the fact that they are not competitive with the rest of the league. And I don't know. I don't quite approve of picking and choosing your competition. But again, with Nihil, with the youth hockey and the egos that go on there, and with the idea that the only way to get noticed is higher hockey, and then high school, and et cetera, et cetera. Competition is not the issue. If somebody's a member of the league and a member in good standing, they should be allowed to play no matter how good they are for a particular year or a particular couple of years. To the side of the net, shot save, rebound, grabbed and held on. Their excuse is the fact that Niles North does not have a junior varsity team and doesn't expect to have one for a while. We have a break in the action. While we have a break, let's take one. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. We'll be back with more in just a moment. And the face-off picked up by the Titans, up ahead. Here's Luke Reel into the zone. And quite frankly, with the lack of numbers here, the Titans have just run out of steam in this period. Shot to save, the rebound, pops free from John Schnarr. Luke Reel into the zone, Reel. Shallow angle, shot save, grabbed and held on by Nick Hines. The Ramblers have been platooning Hines and Brian Schilling. Schilling played in that Ramblers Trevians game. So Hines gets this game. New Trier has already clinched first place in the division. Wrapped around to the near side. Flipped into the zone. Deep in the corner, Chula. And Merlot picked his pocket. Put around to that far side. The seating has come out for the state. And the Ramblers and Trevians are in the same bracket seating. That would get them to the Final Four. With Mount Carmel ranked number 1, New Trier number 2, and Loyola number 3. Cleared out to center ice and back down into the zone. 2 minutes and change left to play here in the period. Dudek overskated. Now taken on that far side, right through the slot to the near side. A little spin-around move by Skoglund, and then he lost the handle on the second try. Flipped into the zone by Paul Lee. In the corner. Titans have it. And now picked up by the Ramblers. Peyton Chain. Chain, a little dipsy-doodle move. One hands it on the stick. Oh, a little check from behind. Cross check. And a little pushing and shoving. And they're still going at it. Not calling anything, and that was right in front of him. Maybe he thought the player was already going down and he was just helped. That's about the only thing I can figure out why that wasn't called a cross check. Lenz puts it to the far side for the Titans. Merkel, Luke Reel, near side, off the boards. Flipped into the zone, now put in deep. Now Steve Lee over to that far side. Litzia put it in deeper. The Ramblers now using a lot of that second and third line out front. Saving the first line for the playoffs. Long on that far side. Merkel right through him. Lenz. Merkel. And a whistle for the offside. Titans control the draw over here on the far side. Now Real puts it into the zone. There's the shot. Oh, nice deflection by Lee. Tried to center it and he couldn't come up with it. Cleared ahead. Now taken. Down the man goes. Picked up by the Ramblers. O'Connor. Drop past it. Shot saved. Matt O'Connor. I suppose that could be part of it, too, is the reason that O'Connor doesn't have a lot of assists is not a lot of people can score. O'Connor with the blaster and another goal. And then O'Connor and Lentz have a little altercation. And it's O'Connor with the second goal of the evening. Makes it 5-1. Favor of the Ramblers. Flipped into the zone by the Titans. Picked up by Mitch Dudek. Dudek. As the horn sounds and the game's over. Final score, the Loyola Ramblers 5 rather. Loyola Ramblers Gold Team 5 and the Glenbrook South Titans 1. This is Mark Braun. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast. Join us next week for playoff hockey. And we say so long, everybody.